Today's topic of discussion, self-worth. Maybe you're watching this video because you've not felt a good sense of self-worth in a long time. Maybe you've never actually experienced a level of self-worth at all. And essentially what self-worth is feeling an internal level of love for yourself. You love who you are, you know who you are, and you feel worthy to go out and achieve things in the world. You feel worthy of success, you feel worthy of the placement that you're in, you feel worthy of everything it is that you are doing. And the thing with self-worth is it flows into so many different areas, because lack of self-worth can then affect your belief in yourself. And lack of self-worth can affect your confidence. It can affect the way that you operate on a day-to-day basis, because now you feel like you shouldn't succeed, or you have now got imposter syndrome because of the lack of self-worth. And a lot of these topics I'm discussing, they're actually more symptoms as opposed to an overall cause as to why maybe you're not being able to push forward in your life, or maybe you're not seeing the results that you're wanting to see, or maybe you're just not feeling this level of internal happiness or a desire to go out and do more. And with self-worth, it is almost the epicenter of where everything else can be impacted and affected. Because if you do not feel good about who you are, or you feel like you are deserving of anything it is that you do, all of these other pillars of life are essentially going to be built on weak foundations. So what can lack of self-worth really look like? Maybe it's happened because of an external factor. Maybe someone else has impacted the way you feel about yourself. Maybe it was an old partner, maybe committed a heinous act against you, cheated on you, and that now makes you feel like you're not worthy of being loved. Maybe you've had a friend go out and you did everything for them, you had a great friendship, great relationship with them, and they stabbed you in the back. So maybe you now don't feel worthy of trust, or you don't feel worthy of a good friendship. Or maybe you've just gone out and attempted something several times, failed a few times, and because you've not got the outcome you wanted, you now don't feel worthy of success. Now, when is a time in my life that I've experienced this? When was a time that I lacked self-worth, and it was something that I had an issue with, a serious underlying issue, because I wasn't actually aware that this was one of the problems that I was facing, was, again, going back to the example from my confidence video of when I was in the gym and I was needing to get back in shape and I was overweight, and I didn't feel worthy of love of others, of compliment of others, of the accolades and the things that were being said about me, because I didn't feel good about how I felt about my physical appearance, which, because I didn't feel good or confident in myself, that made me lack self-love, and I didn't feel worthy of anything else happening around me. So what did I do? Not only did I get in shape and start to focus more on myself, but that increased the way I felt about me. That made me believe more in myself and feel a lot better of who I am as an individual. So naturally, because of the external factors that were going on at the time that were making me feel less, when I started to work on the internal, that then built a strong level of foundation that no longer could be impacted by other people's words or other people's actions. What can lack of self-worth look like out in the real world? What can that cause your actions to be? What can that cause you to go out and do? That can cause you to feel the need for external validation. You could go out in the world and you could be seeking love externally to supplement the way you feel about yourself. So you may post on Instagram and you need people to like and comment and tell you how amazing you look, how great you are at what you do, how amazing you are at everything you're achieving and what you're up to, but you don't feel worthy of the success, or you don't feel worthy on your own without that external validation continuously supplementing how you feel. So when the love stops externally from other people, the love stops internally. And now you start to question, who am I? Can I really do this? Am I able to go and do these things? Like, all of that essentially is a byproduct of how you feel about you. So what do you really need to do? You need to understand, where did this first happen? What was the cause of my lack of self-worth? Was it an event specifically? Was it something someone said to me? Was it something someone did to me? What caused me to lose how I feel about myself in the first place? Was it self-inflicted? Did I stop caring about myself? Did I stop working on myself? Did I stop doing the self-love acts of getting a haircut and going to the gym and eating clean and doing things that made me feel good? Like, where did this originally happen? And when we can go back and understand when this was first caused and what first instigated the lack of self-worth, then we can go back and we can actually forgive ourselves for that situation. Because if it was external and it was somebody else, and you're holding that resentment internally of like, I'm not worthy of a good relationship because of how someone betrayed me in my previous relationship, what that then does is we anchor ourselves to that situation and we blame everything that happened on us. It must have been me. I must have been the problem. But what actually happened was somebody else made a decision that negatively impacted you, and that made you feel different about yourself. So when you can go back to the time when you noticed that this first happened, and it's about increasing the level of awareness on situations of, okay, this is what happened to me, and since then I have felt this way. When we can really comprehend the epicenter or the cause of what started that, then we can start to fix all of these symptoms. So now you can really tell yourself, okay, maybe I wasn't the problem. I've been neglecting myself and feeling like I don't deserve love, or I don't deserve to be respected, or I don't deserve a great friendship because of what happened to me. No, that was somebody else's decision. So now when you can understand that you are not the root problem, and you can start to do these acts of self-love, like journaling, like even making a video to your future self and having a conversation with yourself and saying, look, here's where we're going, here's where we are. And you can do these small acts of almost kindness towards yourself, giving yourself time, breathing room, space to be able to facilitate thoughts and feelings. And you can do those things that ultimately boost how you feel about yourself. Then you will start to see your level of self-worth and ultimately your overall happiness increase. But as I mentioned at the start of the video, self-worth is one piece of what makes us up as individuals. And with all of these different pillars that I'm touching on, from confidence, self-worth, and there's imposter syndrome that I'm going to be touching on. I'm going to be talking about self-belief, the fear of success. All of these different things all flow into each other. So the purpose of each of these different videos segmented into their own topics is overall going to create the bigger picture, so that when we create that bigger picture, you're going to have somewhere to go back to understand, okay, maybe that is the root cause of the weakness of the foundation. So when it comes to self-worth, it really is what it says on the tin. We have lost the way we feel about ourselves because of some kind of event, some kind of action that was either caused by somebody else doing something to us, or it was caused by ourselves by stop doing the things that were making us feel that higher level of self-worth and self-love towards ourselves. So if it was caused externally or by yourself, the action is still the same. You need to go back and revert to what you was doing before the event, or before you started the almost neglect towards yourself. What caused you to lose that love? Go back to taking care of your health, go back to taking care of your appearance, and go doing the things you love the most, your hobbies, sport, whatever it is. Go back to doing those things and watch the self-love, the internal fulfillment, the level of internal happiness increase, and overall you will fix that foundational issue of lack of self-worth. My name's Harley. Do the work, trust the process, and I'll see you in the next one.